Dove here, and today we have a new episode in the channel. And I'm actually doing this video because I don't have a background time-lapse video for my recent episode. I'm kind of doing two things. I'm doing a background time-lapse video for the recent video I just did, and I'm also doing a demo, which is the video now where I'm drawing, painting while talking. So I'm trying to hit two birds with one stone here. And so essentially I'm trying to produce two videos with this art session of mine. So we'll try to keep this study within 30 minutes. The last two, like both of these studies were done, like this one was done in like 30 minutes. This one about 40 because I did some paint overs within the silhouettes. So there's a bit more detail, but I feel like I was being too tight with these. I mean, I do like the results. I'm kind of getting the hang of using the lasso fill tool. By the way, for this study, it kind of got cut off because of the reference photo. So you don't have to draw the whole full figure. And I think if you're trying to study, you don't have to be too tight. Just try to study the thing that's interesting you. And I think for this second thing, or this second study, I kind of like the way the shoes were done, or the shapes of the feet, or the armor plating really looked interesting to me. It looks like kind of like a knight uniform or suit. So anyway, we'll continue using the lasso tool for this challenge. So I have a new group here. We'll make a new group and we'll stick to let's bring up the reference in pure ref. So I do have this. We'll put this on the side. I may do a full figure, but I kind of want to focus more on the head, I think, because I want to be able to draw from imagination. And I think most artists, or a good amount of artists, you want to be able to create concepts from your mind, essentially. And to do that, you obviously need to draw from reference. And once you've done this enough, it's going to be easier to in the past sessions, by the way, both of these were done behind the scenes, or you did not see the live demo version. So we'll try talking over as I do this thing. So we'll try to capture the silhouette of this guy. So right now I think we're doing this in one layer, and we're trying to keep this session within 30 minutes, more or less. Because I don't want to take too long, and it helps me focus more on just one thing. Maybe longer studies are cool, who knows? But and yeah, in my last two sessions, I also used some layering. So I made the major shapes first, and then I eventually made a clipped layer on top of it to paint within those major shapes. So it does take more file management, and for me it's good to be organized, but sometimes you just want to be able to illustrate and show your concepts, show your ideas more directly. And I think having a lot of layers can be kind of a bad thing, well, not bad, but it just it takes away the efficiency. Having to go back and forth, it makes your process less direct, and I think that can be a hindrance. So we'll try using some blacks here to black out the head. And whenever you're doing these studies, sometimes, for me anyway, sometimes I do forget like why I'm doing the study. Am I doing it just to do a copy? Am I doing it to learn the major shapes? Am I doing it to learn certain proportions? Am I doing it just for fun? And I know it you want to, or I have a want to I have a want to maximize, am I saying it right? My time. And maybe it's the over um maybe I'm too focused on trying to be this machine of wanting to do everything right and you know be efficient. But I think it's hard to balance that mindset with being an artist, you know? And not just an artist, but just being able to enjoy your work. Studies are important, learning things, learning to break things down. It's very important, but sometimes you kind of become a machine, and there is a danger to that, especially when it comes to your creative side, because eventually you might lose your love and affection for that thing. So finding that balance of being smart with how you spend your time. Are you doing this to study? Or you're just doodling for fun? Like having that mindset I think is good, but doing that too much can be a danger, I guess. So by the way, in my past episodes, in my past two studies, I did these selections with the Lasso with my Wacom Intuos Pro. So it was a pen graphic tablet, no screen. And now I'm using my XP Pen 22E Pro. So I'm being more direct because I have a screen. It's a big screen, so the experience is going to be somewhat different. And I'm not actually used to drawing on screen. Although I have noticed that it's way more accurate because you can zoom in and out, and just having that space really does help you. So I think the intention of this overall study of studying Evangelion mechs, like these mechs, was because obviously I'm interested in the character. I love the looks, or I love the aesthetics of it, the vibe, and I definitely want to be able to illustrate it from imagination, because it's just something that I'm interested in, and I want to learn how, like, what are the major shapes, like what makes a mech an Evangelion mech, right? So I do know it has some humanoid features. In terms of the body, you can see the musculature in a way. It looks very armored. Let me just change the gray here, something lighter. Right. And oftentimes the head design is what makes it more notable, and it separates it from other Evangelion mechs. I believe this is Eva 0. And you'll notice I'm trying to focus more, I guess, on the grayscale, because I think color can be distracting. Maybe I should have grayscaled this photo. I think you have an option in PureRef to grayscale the images temporarily, but I guess this type of exercise will help me break down and really see what makes, or what are the it helps me to find the shapes, and it helps me to see through the color. Now I could erase with the lasso fill too, but I'm just using a white paint, and I'm essentially painting over the mistake, and I'm using this to kind of cut the things I don't like, right? And it's easy to do this. I'm doing this, by the way, with one layer again, so focus on the big shapes. So this is kind of like a shoulder padding here. So we'll try a lighter gray. I'll use this slider. There's kind of a triangle here. We'll just draw blobs. There's a blob here. and then a slight blob there, and then a blob right there. Okay. And I'm still trying to find my my flow when it comes to using this tool. And I do recommend trying out Clip Studio Paint, just because I've been going back and forth recently with Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint. I think when it comes to speed, Clip Studio Paint is just the best, because it's very reliable. There are times when Photoshop is fast for me, but it's very hard to predict when it's going to be fast and when it's going to be slow, and you have to keep messing with the settings. I don't experience that with Clip Studio Paint, so obviously there is going to be a bit more biased in this sense. Maybe my laptop is just not as strong, who knows. Let me just draw the blobs first. What are the major blobs? If you look at this photo, the background is black, but in this study of mine, I already have black areas, so I need to learn how to shave away the main silhouette. So there's going to be an opening here, right? A slight opening here, so there's no opening, technically speaking. So let's just draw the center line. So it goes like this. Even though it's not in the photo or in the image, I want to be able to illustrate it, just because it cuts like this, and then it cuts like this, and then everything here is just filled up, essentially. And we'll cut this away. We'll cut this away as well. And then we'll draw the darks here. And then we'll draw this kind of light gray for the leg. So when you're using this lasso fill tool, I think accuracy may not be your best friend. But so maybe instead of focusing more on accuracy, I mean, you can be more accurate. In this case, your tool will help you. Obviously having a screen tablet helps. Now again, for my last two studies, I did use a graphic tablet, so that you can be a bit more accurate. With just a standard no screen graphic tablet, it's possible, but you have to be a bit slower, I guess. And I think it encourages you to be a bit less shaky, I think. But who knows? I haven't used it enough, or used that tablet with this process enough. So right now, with my experience using the XP Pen 23 Pro, I think being loose, like the screen is right in front of me, it's pretty big. Again, I'm not used to this kind of setup, but it's appealing. I see it a lot on YouTube, people drawing on screen, and it looks better than having a simple. I feel like I'm dissing graphic tablets, but I do like it. I do recommend learning both, because being on screen or having a screen and constantly kind of looking down, or even if it's like above you or right in front of you, your arm constantly kind of fixed on the screen, it can be tiring, and right now I can actually feel my back hurting a bit. I'm so weak. I'm trying to define the edge here a bit. And again, maybe for now, my best takeaway is to be more. Don't aim for accuracy, aim for blobs. Now obviously you're going to want to be somewhat accurate to know where the blobs are, but think of just plotting the blobs. You'll see a blob right here. I'm going to make a lighter, I need a lighter gray to fill this guy up a bit. Right? There you go. Again, I'm painting on one layer, so I'm not going to do the whole clipping or clipped layer technique. So we're essentially going raw. Ooh. And once I'm done with this, I'm going to create a time-lapse version of this and put it in my 2024, because it's my first video for the new year. The one before this, I already have the audio recording done, so I need to get that out. And if you've watched that video, I want to expand on it a bit. I think this year I also want to be more aggressive. And I think I can be a bit more aggressive with my content, with my artwork. I think it's possible. And I think this is the year. I mean, we always say this, like, this is the year. Like, this time, things are going to change. And I do think so. As much as I feel like, oh shit, like, I'm so behind. In a sense, I'm kind of not. Or there's almost this exponential growth. Even if you feel like you're not making as much progress. It feels like once you're actually doing it, like the progress seems to speed up a bit. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's a beautiful feeling. Like in the past few days, having, consistent videos, my subs went up. And I think it's the consistency. And I think YouTube will tell you in your analytics. And I think my viewership went up to 200+%. Since I started posting again, and it's only been a week, so I think maybe this year I'm really hoping, not hoping. I do want to hope, because hope is kind of hope, but it's hard to know how things will turn out. But obviously, I have ideals. I have things I would like to happen. I want my channel, or the goal is, or the wish. Is to reach 100k. Is it possible within a year? Because I've seen YouTubers that they don't have a lot of I guess videos, but because let's say they have 4 videos, like 1 or 2 of them went viral, and that's how they got their 100k subs or 60-70k subs. And I want to be able to reach that level. Maybe it's too idealistic, who knows, but So I'm painting over I need to define the blocks or the segments. So something here. Something here. So when I'm doing this, I'm essentially using very thin ellipses. Wait, have I plotted everything? I feel like this is too far. So we'll do this. Take this away. And I may have to let me just zoom out a bit. Sorry. Let me just zoom out. I do like it seems like I'm getting the major blobs and shapes. So let me just expand the canvas to the left. Sorry. And then I'll drag it over here. I think this is a better way of doing your studies, kind of longitudinal, especially when you're doing, obviously if it's digital, like people are on screens, and if you're doing this, I think most people do this in their PC or laptop, so it doesn't make sense to do a portrait version, or kind of like this and then you draw everything in this kind of down to up, or sorry, up to down kind of layout. It just seems unnatural. And in this way, you can just kind of move to the right, move to the left. And again, with a file this size, in my setup, it just seems so, not seems, it's just so fluid. In Clip Studio Paint, in Photoshop, it's going to lag. And it just sucks because Photoshop has a lot of potential, but I'm really disappointed because I have a lot of brushes there and it's kind of a waste. And even the lasso tool, or the lasso fill extension, I think it was slowing down Photoshop too. So maybe for you it's going to be different. Hopefully it's different for you. Maybe it really is just my laptop. But there's kind of an opening here for the legs, and you have like a socket thing. Let's use a darker gray. to kind of insinuate and suggest. So when you're doing the lasso fill tool, think suggestions, think blobs, think impressionism. So if you look at if you look at a lot of impressionistic paintings, it's not very detailed, but you can get the gist, the impression of the thing. So now obviously with the lasso fill tool, it's a different kind of tool, so you're going to feel a certain kind of way, and your work is going to look a certain kind of way. So it's going to look a bit more graphical, obviously, because of the nature of the tool. Let me define the elbow. Where is the edge of the elbow here? So it kind of pinches like this, and it goes down even more. There you go. There's a bit of a cut. Now the hope is, by the way, that this kind of approach or practice will eventually help me, or over time, develop my visual library, and from there I can paint these types of mechs from imagination. My favorite mech artists, or obviously I won't be able to mention them all, but the ones that I'm thinking of now is John Wallenberto, Shinko Kim, Jay Cheo Park a bit, shit. There's way more, but I think when it comes to mechs, because it's not just, or there are also like types of mechs that are kind of organic. It's kind of like Evangelion in a sense, like Nivan Chantara, Milan Nikolic, Thomas Estepanian. Hopefully I'm saying their names right. But for the head, I think I kind of got it. And besides, you know what? I think this obsession of mine to want to paint things from imagination, it's a nice goal to have. It's nice to do, but I think I just have an aversion to painting with reference. And I'm just not, I feel like it's cheating, which is so dumb. Like everyone uses reference. Like I think one of the reasons why I'm slow, or why I'm not making as much progress is because I'm stuck in this, I'm stuck with that type of mentality. And it's dumb, it's weak, and it's not worth my progress. So yeah, this 2024, things are going to get crazy, right? We can dream anyway. So the arm. So let me just define the leg here. A gray but lighter. It actually kind of cuts in the thigh, goes almost down, and then there you go. We'll draw it straight here, and then we'll draw this guy. There you go. Lighter gray, which not bad, kinda. So I'm not really being accurate with the values, but I think this type of exercise can help you just understand the shapes a bit more of your subject. Now, am I actually retaining the information? Maybe, maybe not. Right now, I just need to enjoy the process, and I'll know if I'm getting it if I try to illustrate one without reference. If I can't do it, if I'm struggling, then I'll know where my loopholes are, where I don't really understand the subject. And I have to remember, you're trying to tackle a pretty big subject. It's not just the head design. I'm trying to still figure out the body, how guns work. So if you're trying to study pretty much kind of a bit of everything, you're going to obviously struggle. So let me just change the value here to something. Right? Darken this guy. Bam. So with these kinds of mechs, you see a lot of sections. It helps to break down the form, and obviously it helps to make it look more mechie and mechanical. It kind of cuts in again, and like that. Make it lighter. There you go. Bucket lighter. Almost to a white. There you go. And right now my lasso fill, like I think you have way more settings for the lasso fill too when it comes to like the opacity, using gradients. I'll try that next time. Right now, I'm trying to get ahead, or I'm trying to, what's the word? When you're doing this kind of daily thing, I think it's important to do things by increments. So right now, I think what's the challenge for me was using my 22E XP Pen Pro. So an on-screen tablet, right on my face, big screen level, and also painting with one layer. So whatever knowledge I gained from this study, or from this quick study, this experience, I can bring it to the next thing, and I can try a new thing next time. I don't have to try everything in one session. So if you're struggling with your studies, chances are you're doing a bit too much, you're trying too many things at once. So relax and just focus on playing around with a few things, a few brushes, a few tools. Even when it comes to those tools, there are many ways to use one tool. So limit yourself, try to find a way to be less tight. Let me just add a lighter value here to show some highlights because it's becoming a bit too flat. Maybe it's a mistake because I do want to start being more detailed, but I haven't really figured out the main body yet, so I may have to skip that for a while, but I am tempted. So yeah, supposed to be black here. You have some sections here for the neck, some armor plating for the neck, kind of like this. Not bad. Yeah, so I want to work on the body a bit more. So we'll try a lighter value so we can illustrate this gray part. Hopefully you can see my cursor. They have a thing here. 1, 2, this is 2, 3, shit, and then the fourth one. My proportions are a bit off, but pay. And then we'll try doing this. We'll make this higher just a bit. Close this side. Now here it's almost blended, so you can't really see a black part. You can just see the silhouette. Comes in like this. So you can tell I'm struggling. Like I can't really see where the arms are, where the gun is, where the torso is, and even the dick area right here, the crotch, the hands. It's been we're closing in on 30 minutes, so we'll see if I can continue this. But let me just define. Let's go for blacks here. Let me define the edge or some information. Let me plot in some informative details in this area. I want to separate the arm from the torso. This arm that I'm working on right now, kind of like this. Suggest some mechanical designs, or like joints. I do think this is some kind of action figure, but it's a pretty cool looking action figure, and it looks nice. Obviously my values are kind of all over the place, but you know, we'll work with this, you know. Excuse me. Obviously I can be more detailed as I go, but I'm actually having fun. But I don't want to limit the studies as well. Oh, by the way, I can always like continue this in a later section. And as much as these shorter studies are nice, I feel like I also need to dive deep and really like learn how to illustrate or add more detail to something. Because that has always been a weakness of mine. As much as I love being bold and direct, adding details, like going that extra mile, spending that extra 1, 2, 3 hours just refining shit. I want to try doing that more. Now, given that it's probably not my personality, I may do it less, but I should at least try it sometime, you know? So let's make this lighter. There you go. Just a bit of a curve here. Some grays here. Shit. I've already worked on this leg, so I'm not sure why I'm spending more time here. But as you can see, you can sculpt things with the lasso fill tool. So just consider your tools. Be patient. Obviously, this is not it's a different tool. Like in real life, you don't have like a lasso fill. I mean, you know how to use a brush, you know how to use a pen, an actual brush, an actual pen, an actual pencil. But using this kind of looping thing where you try to, do this in real life, it doesn't exist. So you have to adapt and learn how to do this, with your computer or tablet. I do know Clip Studio Paint has a tablet version, so that's interesting. Let me just do a lighter version right here. Because we don't have black in the background, so we have to use a gray to illustrate the edge of this shoulder padding that cuts through the values may be off. I don't really care. So we'll try using a design changes here. Maybe it would have been better to do the paint marks after or with a clipping mask, but sometimes you can't help it, right? So just suggest those shoulder thingies, suggest the joints, make it darker. Black shit. There's like a U thing happening there. This one's actually supposed to be way lighter. Or kind of, not too light, but it's too light. Like this. How do you illustrate highlights with this? Maybe again, this is something that should have been done, or that should be done after. So we're past 33 minutes. Because in Bandicam you can see how long you've the recording software I'm using. You can see the amount of time that has elapsed. So let me just work on the face a bit more. And just add some extra details. A knob here. A lighter gray just to there you go. And maybe some highlights in the face or in that red thingy there. So we'll add some like lighter stuff for the highlights. That's not a bad sketch, bruh. Although this part right here, if I may, this part right here, it feels too like there's no opening, so it feels all jumbled up in one. Like you want an opening kind of like this, like a something here, because you already have a bit something here, right? It just makes it more interesting. But so far, it's not a bad study. You know, it's pretty nice, pretty chill and legit. So yeah, the torso is a bit thick for this boy. So you know what? We'll adjust it. We'll break the rules. We'll make it thinner. So we'll do this and make it white. So essentially we have a really thick boy. Over here. Oh yeah, this is the arm. There you go. You see? So you have, if I may, let's zoom in. You have this opening, you have some openings here. Now I haven't defined the gun area here, so that's an issue. But so yeah, that's also another thing. You don't have to copy everything. It's just a reference. It's just a reference. So I'll spend maybe 5 more minutes working on, say, this gun right here. I could work on this in the future, improve on the study, but I don't know. I feel like I should do more of these. And if I want to really go into detail, I can do that in the future. Right now, I just want to do and get used to learning how to draw with the lasso fill tool in Clip Studio Paint. So I guess that's the goal that I have. Remember, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to do everything at once. Okay? I know you want to study a lot of things. I know I definitely want to study a lot of things, but slow down. Take it easy. Not easy in the sense that you're slacking off, but just right now, keep it simple. Focus on just a few things. For me, it's going to be learning, getting used to using the lasso fill tool, getting comfortable with it, learning how to maneuver it, developing my own process with it. And yeah. And yeah, as I get faster with the tool, obviously it's going to be easier for me to draw or illustrate, which means I can focus more on studying like specific details in the future, right? So you don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to do everything at once. But the gun actually ends somewhere here. Since we're a bit dark gray here. And we'll make it this darker in this area. Oh shit. You have a cut. I'm not exactly sure if I'm doing it right, but there you go. Let's do this. Do a quick slight gray cut. And maybe for this episode, I want to try zooming in for this demo. Once I do edit the video, hopefully, maybe I won't do it, but I'll try zooming in, like doing cuts in the video so you can see me zoom in and do the actual like selection. It may not be as like close in terms of like the close-up, but like zooming in, but I feel like when I upload or export the video, like seeing everything, like seeing the entire like work area is not necessary, you know, since I'm using just one tool anyway. I feel like it's too much, so we'll see. Oh shit, we're closing in at, let me just define the edge of this guy with some blacks. Not too much. Use a gray to do this. I may skip the hands, maybe. I can always work on the hands later. Or in a different, I can do like a close-up study of, say, the hand, right? But I just want to plot where the gun is with this study. just because it's something that has been bothering me. Because it's so messy here, like I don't even know where things are. Let me just figure that thing out, and then we can move on and stop the recording, edit the video, and edit the first video that's empty in a sense without the background. Make a time lapse of this video and put it there, and then upload and edit the next video, this demo, and schedule that whenever, right? Add some blacks here to illustrate the circle thing. So with the lasso fill again, don't focus on accuracy, focus on blobs, focus on plotting the major like areas. So you want to think impressionism with this thing. You want to get the gist, the impression, the vibe, the general like massing of the subject matter, of the shapes, right? Feeling I'm not doing a good job with this part right here. It needs to be darker, and then this needs to be a bit lighter. The top part. Shit, my bad. Excuse me, I had a phone call. So did it do a good job? I feel like this edge is pretty defined. Let's make it more empty. Or shit. Control Z. Oh yeah, avoid using the Control Z. I think I've done a good job somewhat with this study. It may not be the most detailed, but that's not the point. So hopefully I've inspired you some way, or in some way to do these sorts of studies. I think I'll stop the study here. But yeah, you can tell I did skip the hand a bit. You know what, fuck it. Let me just work on the hand, just get the impression of the hand. You don't have to draw the fingers, Dave. Just suggest where the... So obviously there's going to be an opening right here. It's going to be black. And then there's going to be like an area for the palm and the thumb. Just suggest it. You don't have to illustrate everything. Suggest it. Suggest it. So you have something like this. And then the crotch essentially cuts in to the top. And there's a bit of a curve there. Shit, wrong color. Shit, wrong color again. I want black. There you go. But again, I'm not even being that detailed, so... Or that closed. Oh fuck. I'm doing this far away, so I have to be more... darker value. Maybe it's too light. Darker. So maybe not a very good job. Wait, suggest the hands. Suggest the hands. For the thumb, you can't really see it, but... I think it's kind of there. Let me just illustrate this part. Shit. I think it's saving. My bad. Like this. Like this. Like this. There you go. See? Wow. Like that. See? So you do have some resemblance of a mech, of an Evangelion mech design. Right? So I really did enjoy this study of this Evangelion mech, and do your own version. Fear not, don't be afraid. Let me just do just a bit more. I do want to set limits for these videos, for these sorts of demos, but you know what? Fuck it, it is a demo. Like, since I'm drawing and talking at the same time, obviously it's going to take a bit longer because I'm thinking. I'm trying to discuss something while trying to illustrate something and conceptualize or study, so I have to give myself more grace, right? So hopefully you've been doing something as I was or as I'm studying here, and if you don't know what to do, and if you feel kind of hesitant doing these sorts of studies, look at how or what I was able to achieve with this limited amount of time, right? It's not bad, it's easy, more or less. Let me just go. And it's possible. And it's fun. It's fun. Try using the lasso fill tool. And I've discussed a bunch of things in this quick demo of mine, quick study. So we'll leave the... let me just add some grays here. So let me... okay. Let me just flip the canvas and just work on the edge of it. Do a bit of a cave. Make it a bit more asymmetrical, I guess. Sorry, excuse me. Let's add some shadows to the face. Okay, we'll stop the recording here. So that's it for this. Let me just a bit more. There you go. But look at how nice it looks. Wow. Right? It's not a bad looking study, by the way. So, again, one layer, one tool. And hopefully you've enjoyed this episode on this channel of mine. And yeah, keep drawing, keep painting, and stay free.